Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the WYLDHEART and the Green Speaker subclass in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a mod that was created by WyldsongXXL and it just got released on console today, so I thought this would be the perfect time to be able to show off another build on here. I previously covered the Master of the Hounds, but today we'll be covering the Green Speaker. Now for cantrips that we'll be selecting here, I guess like an overview of this class, it's like the Sylvan Sorcerer for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. If you've never played that, think of it like a sorcerer mixed with a druid put together. This is what you got. It's really cool, and it comes with a bunch of different summons and different effects that are custom to the WYLDHEART, which I'll show off in this video. As for our cantrips, I think that Thorn Whip's nice for 9 meters, pull a creature 3 meters closer to you, and then closer, the Lightning Lure is a little bit better, but it has shorter range and more damage. Firebolt to explode things, and then Shillelagh is really nice because this actually one of the best damage options early games to go with Shillelagh, and then use your spellcasting modifier, so Charisma for our attack rolls. As for our spells that we'll be selecting, Create Water, we get Cone of Cold and Chain Lightning, so this can double their damage, really good. And then we also got ourselves Magic Missile, and you can go with something like Thunderwave if you'd like as well. I'm also using Mistress Spells mod, which it has compatibility for, which is awesome. But we're gonna go with the Green Speaker here, which gives us the option of a few different summons, and it's built with plants in the wild. For cantrips, we also get the Nature's Invocation, which levels up as we level up our little summon. And we also add our Constitution modifier to damage we deal with cantrips, which is pretty great. Now, from the choices, pick which one you prefer. We got a Blue Jay Companion, a Pixie, a Sapling, and a Wisp. I'm going with the Wisp here, but it's entirely your choice. You'll get another choice a little bit later on. And for our ability scores, I think it's best to go 8 Dexterity, or 8 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 14 Constitution, 10 Intelligence and Wisdom, and 16 Charisma, our main spellcasting stat. So we'll go with that for our stats, and I'll also be showing off the gear that we want to be using, or some ideas of gear. You can really use whatever you want for this as a spellcaster, and I'll also show off combat in this video. Now at level 2, we get ourselves the sorcery points, so you can create your own sorcery points, and we also get a choice of another spell here. So Thunderwave is really nice for the pushback, with Frost Fingers if you got Mistress spells. And we get to take some meta magics. Distant Spell to increase the range, and Twin Spell are the two best choices here. Twin Haste, one of the most broken things in the game. We get ourselves a feat here at level 2, so we can go with something like an ability score improvement to take up our charisma there. Then once we get ourselves level 3, we get a choice in another spell. If you don't have the previous feat, that's okay. You don't need all the stat upgrades in this. But we get level 2 spells here. Really good one is Spike Growth, but we do get later on we can choose something else. Personally, I also like Scorching Ray and Misty, or Hold Person and Misty Step. These are like the top 3 choices for me. Probably the strongest, so we'll go with Scorching Ray, and we're going to take Quicken Spell, bonus action spell casting. It's a lot of fun. So then once we get ourselves to level 4, we get to choose between another cantrip here, so your personal choice, what you want best. And then we get a choice in another spell, with Hold Person being the top one. And for a feat, I think another ability score improvement, take Charisma up to 20 is the best choice there. Once we get ourselves level 5, we get level 3 spells with some fun ones. I like Tidal Wave a lot if you have Mistress Spell mod, because this will create water for us and knock enemies prone, and it deals bludgeoning damage 48, so that's really good. Call Lightning also being a good choice, because this is a concentration based casting. For 10 turns you can continually call down the Call Lightnings, which is really nice for consistent damage, especially mid game, but you can take that off later. At level 6 we get the Nature's Invocation 2, which further increases our summon. And then we get to choose another leveled spell here, which I think the best one is Haste or Fireball. Your choice between the two of these, but they're both pretty good. Obviously, Haste being twinned is extremely useful, but you can also go with a Fireball too, all the same. And we get ourselves another choice. We got Woodwoads, Eagles, Myconids, and a Dryad. I think the Eagle is probably one of my personal favorites, but again, from these, pick the one that you think works best for you. I'm not going to tell you which animal you should have. It's kind of your own choice. We also get another feat here. I think Dexterity Improvement's probably the best choice there. Then once we get to ourselves to level 7, we get ourselves some higher leveled spells, with some really good ones being like Ice Storm, which can create a slippery surface for enemies to slip on. So that becomes really effective. And at level 8, we get to choose another spell here from the level 4. Grasping Vine is not bad. Guardian Nature can be kind of cool, but not very good for this build. Wall of Fire is another fun spell, kind of crowd control-y. Counter spell is good too, but we'll take the haste there. We took Fireball instead. And for our next feat, Alert for the +5 initiative. That works pretty good. Level 9, we get to choose another spell here, with Cone of Cold being top priority, but Insect Plague is also really good for crowd control. A difficult terrain, on difficult terrain, really nice. So a next level cantrip we can go with. Guidance is all right, or if you really want one of these other ones, you can go with them. Spells. Cloud Kill is also pretty good if you have a Necromancer on the team, because the poison won't hurt their summons, but you can also go with Insect Plague. Where Insect Plague becomes really good is if you have ice surfaces and Insect Plague, people will be walking really slowly through that, and then they'll also be taking damage over time, so that can be really good, and they'll also slip and fall in the ice. And for our next level meta magic, Careful Spell can be good to protect your teammates from getting hit, but you can also go with your other choice there if you'd like. And for our next level feat, you can have some luck with going like Spell Sniper and taking Eldritch Blast if you just want a consistent damage option for a cantrip, since we got so many feats. But we can also go with another ability score improvement and take up our dexterity for better armor class and survivability. And once we make our way to level 11, we get the Nature Step. We aren't affected by difficult terrain and gain resistance to poison damage, so that's really good. We also get the Nature's Invocation here, and extra attack and pack tactics, so our summons get a lot stronger at this level. And we get ourselves a choice in a level 6 spell, so things like Chain Lightning being a really good choice just for maximum damage. And then we get to take another one, Psychic Crush I really like. If you got that Mistress Spells mod, download it, can be very effective. Also, Fisher can be good for the 8d8 force damage. You can also go back to previous levels of the spell that you didn't grab previously that you really wanted. I'm just going to take Psychic Crush because it's really strong. And then for our feat, you could go and increase your Constitution here, or we could also go with, I guess there's a few different options. We could go with Elemental Adept, can ignore resistance to a damage type. That's good on fire. Water will remove the resistances to lightning and cold damage, so Elemental Adept for cold or lightning's okay, but water will remove it either way. You can also go with like the moderately armored if you want to have medium armor, so that's another choice. If you don't have all these extra feats, I'm not sure if this is, I don't believe that this is correct. I don't know why it's giving me these feats, some of those are just bugs. You can also go with a Spell Sniper and then take yourself Eldritch Blast, which is obviously not a bad spell to have, and you can color that. So what we'll be looking at here is what type of gear to go with. So I personally like just having a shield. We're also going to wear, you can wear light armor because this one actually gives light armor proficiency, which the sorcerer doesn't naturally get. The Wave Mother's robe being one of the best choices though too, so you could go that route, or even the robe of the weave for a 22 armor class can be really nice. We do get light armor proficiencies, but also Heldesk armor if you got it. It's the best armor choice, so it could also be a good one. You can also wear some of the druid ones if you wanted to, like the armor of landfall can be good for the increased spell save DC. And whenever you're on a plant growth, you'll heal yourself and advantage on constitution saving throws, but we already get that from armor, so I'm just going to leave it here with the Heldesk armor because that's technically the best if you wanted to min-max this, and it also has some cool dyes. So I also like to use the Gloves of Belligerent Skies can work well, but also Heldesk gloves will give you additional fire damage and better spell save DC. It also fits with this set. It's not thematic for this build. This is kind of just going with overpowered items. So you don't have to wear this armor. You can also go with the Druid armors, which I mentioned. I also have the Crypt Lord ring because Create Undead is really nice to have. Ring of Protection and Amulet of Greater Health. You can also roll with the, if you want to go with something like the Hood of the Weave there, that can increase your spell save DC even further. But Bakoni's Walking Fortress, and I'm using Marka Heshker as well. You can also swap around a staff if you want to give yourself a free casting of a spell too, so I can show off what that'll look like. So you can see the ring there, it's our difficult terrain ignoring. So we got our Wisp companion, which I'll show what it looks like. So the Wisp visibility, and it's called Nilthas. So the Wisp has like Dancing Lights, Mage Hand, and Ray of Frost, and it can do an arm strike, which is not very strong, and it can warp around. But our main one that we want to be using is our Eagle Companion, which I'll summon in here. So you got the Eagle coming down. He's a pretty big boy. Look at that. That's bigger than me. And he's got 52 health, and then we can buff it up too. So it's got some nice attacks. It's got the multi-attack. It's got Gale, which can push enemies back, not to be confused with our Companion Gale. And it also has Talons for slashing damage. And it can fly around, so that's pretty cool. But what we want to be doing is whenever we summon in our little friends here, you can use the Nature's Invocation to upgrade them. So just using, I guess I'll use the higher form of it, but kind of hard to target the Wisp. It's the only unfortunate thing about that, is it's not the easiest thing to target. I guess I'll try and get a little closer to see if I can get it to formulate. Oh, there we go. The wisp is right there, so it is a little bit above it, and then you can buff them up, so then they get a little bit more health. But we want to be using our Nature's Invocation 3 here, which will again further increase them a little bit more, and goes from 57 health to 82, and they get an extra attack, so that's really nice. And then in addition to this, we also got we got some nice spells too that we can use. So I guess we could set up with any of these really. You'll see the Dancing Light cantrip too, which is kind of cool. So I guess for the free cast, you would want to use it typically on like your haste and haste yourself before combat. I won't do it that way. I'll actually just use Mark of Heshkir here, and we'll go with the Kreska's Favor, which really buffs us up. And we can go with the Bolts of Doom, which will give us lightning charges. We can also go with the Frost of the Dark Winter, which is pretty nice too. But the lightning version of this is going to be a little bit stronger. So we also get free casts of Chain Lightning 2, which is really nice. And then we get lightning charges on our attacks. So what this ends up looking like in combat is I'll show off that here. So to start off, every time you know you're getting into a combat encounter, Tidal Wave is really the best way to drop that, because this will set up water for you, which then your Chain Lightnings will deal extra damage. Or you don't have to do Chain Lightning. You can also just go with our favorite, Cone of Cold, because with Cone of Cold you get the we can also upcast this to level 6 if we use the free cast. Cone of Cold is great because it'll create ice surface and likely take out most of these targets. So we took out a couple of them there, more than a couple I guess, and we have ice surfaces all the way across. In addition to this, we also got Quicken Spell, which you guys know if you played a sorcerer, it's pretty strong. So then we can drop down a free Chain Lightning there and 60% hit chance, and that got us a nice another 4 knockouts. So that quickly evened the tides of war here. We'll bring in our big bird, and then we'll also bring in our little wisp here, which the wisp has a little bit more health now, 36, and then we'll just let them go. So you can see Tidal Wave into Cone of Cold into Chain Lightning, very strong. You can basically take out any encounter doing this. And you'll also get lightning charges too, which will further increase the damage that you can deal. Sonic Backlash can be nice too, only took 2 damage. Sometimes I can take them out, especially if you've called the weak. And then our birdie can fly in, and what's nice with the bird is it's not going to slip on our ice. So we can just dash and get it into positioning, and then for some reason it's walking. I don't know why it started walking that way, but we'll leave it. Our big eagle looks so cool though, so we'll just move him in and get to fighting. So they're just going to continually throw at us, which is fine. We have a good armor class, so we won't be getting hit too frequently. But yeah, everyone's going to be slipping on ice. That's the whole purpose of this. And then our wisp will also contribute with further ice spells. Ray of Frost, which is just shy. I guess we can also, the nice thing with the wisp is it can actually teleport too, so you can use that to move in close, and then you can use the wisp's attack, drop some Rays of Frost. So that's perfect. And Auntie Ethel looking girl just slipped and fell on the ice, so you know what that means for us? Another Chain Lightning. And if you're not close enough, you can also use the distance spell, so that's also a nice perk of it. So boom, that actually took everyone out. That was crazy. We didn't even have to use a spell. I guess we used a level 3 spell slot for Tidal Wave, but all those free casts are pretty strong. So I guess I'll get into another fight right now, just because that didn't satisfy me enough. I took them out way too easily. So you see here the little leaves, that's how you know where your that's how you know your poison area. So, or the area that everyone ignores difficult terrain and has resistance to poison damage. We almost took them out in one foul swoop. You can also go with obviously we got the Eldritch Blast and Sacred Crush here. Sacred Crush will just obliterate them, so that's obviously something we don't want to do because they're already, oh, there's someone hiding there. We're already going to hit them quite hard, and we want to give them at least a little bit of a chance. We can Chain Lightning them, never mind, I'll just use that. Boom, 22. It didn't even hit as hard as some of the other spells. And then we got ourselves our Quicken Spell, and we can use, sometimes when there's people that are hiding away from you, that's what Magic Missile is for. So we can drop one of these and pepper them with our Magic Missiles, which have lightning charges on them, so that took them out. So yeah, as you can see, pretty strong. Lightning builds always go strong. The Druid and the Sorcerer are a nice combination together, and you get a cool Burby, little birdie boy. So yeah, that is it's basically the Sylvan Sorcerer in a nutshell, but the Wild Heart by WyldsongXXL. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.